Now, Cameron, reaction to the New South Wales side. What's your thoughts? Brandy and I have declared New South Wales they're winning game 2.
Morals.
It's better side.
Yep.
What's your
Really?
thoughts? Yeah. Better squad. Better squad. Better side. Better squad.
Yeah, you know what? I think overall it's a stronger footy side. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I think there's a lot more football in this lineup.
You think Cameron thinks it's so good that he's tipping New South Wales to win?
No, that's not
what
true.
He's getting to.
Brandy,
no? Okay.
No, that's not going to happen, mate. No, but looking just on paper, and you can read into that what you will, but the inclusion of Latrell Mitchell, of course, Mitch Moses goes to 7. Been there before, knows how to win Origin matches. Connor Watson, that's the big one for me. I think. He can. I don't know if he was in the mix for game 1 before he sort of had that throat or neck injury.
I think he was, Cam. I think he was. That was the chat.
Yeah. So I think he's the man now that can create so much utility value for this footy side now. Does that mean Reece Robson plays a full 80 minutes? Not sure, but he can play different positions. He's done a great job as a utility for the Roosters. Coming on as maybe a 13, can play a little bit of back row if he has to. But the thing that he does have is plenty of energy, and that's what you need at this level. And that's what the Blues need for game 2, because it's do or die now for them. They drop game 1 and they have to win this one on a neutral venue at the MCG. They need to be better, and so do Queensland. I think, speaking with the coach after game 1, he wasn't entirely happy with the way they played. Great result, of course. But, I think he acknowledged too they were playing against 12 men for pretty much the majority of that match. So this one's going to be a cracker. It's a very, very strong lineup.
Rory has 3 putted 16, so they are both at 6 under the card. DeChambeau and Rory McIlroy. Rory's dropping shots and starting to tighten up.
Nice and tense. Now, Cameron, over the weekend we had an incident from the Rabbitohs game. Latrell Mitchell not only sin-binned on the night for running in, but since fined as well. Mm-hmm. Now, you played 1,000 Origin games. Mm-hmm. I would have said it's not just a silent code. It would have been spoken about. If you have a teammate hit off the ball, without the ball, and down he goes, as Cameron Murray was.
Yes.
If that's a Queenslander, you're running in, aren't you?
Players
are running in. Straight in. So what's going to happen in Origin if we're told that they're refereed the same as the NRL? We've been at pains to say that after the first game.
No.
Eh?
No. No one will go to the bin for that. Okay. Please. Seriously.
Yeah.
Well, think back, what was it, 2 years ago now? Matt Burton, I think. I think Queensland made a bit of a line break, and he was running downfield and ran over the top of, I think it was Kalen Ponga. Dane Gagai come running in, and that little sort of hoo-ha started with himself and Matt Burton, and I think Big Tino got involved as well. No one went to the bin there, did they? Or maybe the two that threw punches.
Yeah.
But that was
a couple of punches.
But the running in.
But if you run in and just grab a bloke by the jersey or whatnot, please come on. That'll happen.
Well, it was only
times.
the one. It's only the one. Mitchell did come a distance, but the fact is, just putting that on the record, Cameron, there's an expectation for you to run in. It's not that it's ill discipline. You are expected to run in, to come to the aid of your mate, of your comrade.
Well, that's what sport's all about, isn't it? It's about looking after your mate. And that's why we play in a team sport. It's not every man for himself. Like, you're there to stick up for one another. And Latrell, like, he's one of the more imposing figures on the field. So why wouldn't he go there to back up his mate, his skipper? It's the right thing to do. And then to say, look, don't do that. I think what was he been for? For the potential of inciting something. Yeah. Well, please.
No one throws punches
anymore.
A punch, so
that's
running
right.
in doesn't really matter.
It doesn't do anything.
Run in and just grab and push around a bit.
Yeah.
So, Cameron, what else? We had some extraordinary results on the weekend. The early game yesterday, Manly came from behind after losing both front rowers very early. Paseka, Toff Sipley, Ruben Garrick had 2 HIAs. The second one ruled him out of the game. Corey Waddell was hobbling around the field, but he had to play because they were down to the bare 13, if not. incredible win by Manly. The Tigers get their first in 10 weeks, which is great. What are some of the standouts for you?
Well, I covered the first game, boys. The Sharks Dolphins. Now that was a strange game. Dolphins out 22-0 after I think it was about 25 minutes.
Yep.
And we just thought, wow, like this looks like it's going to be a bit of a blowout. Like the Sharks look shell shocked, right? Then they fought their way back, and then again we were thinking, well, here we go. This is going to be a good game. Dolphins kicked out again, and that miraculous finish, like incredible. Nico Hines with a shot after the siren to take it to golden point, and he missed. But I thought the highlight of the night, the hammer. What about his try? 95, 96 metres. Like he takes a kick. He fields the kick downfield and has a little bit of pressure on him. And he decides just to back away. He backed off about 3 metres towards his own in goal and then just put the afterburners on. It's one of the best tries I've seen in a long time.
It is one of the great tries. I agree with you, Cameron. It is one of the great tries. And really, tries like that, you're going to replay for 15 years' time, 20 years' time. It's going to be replayed. Hamiso will score 100 or so tries in his career, but that one will be in the top 5 and replayed many times. How lucky are we to have athletes like that?
No.
Yesterday, kid from Newcastle, the Cessnock product, Fletcher Sharp.
Yes.
What about that?
The opening try.
Slept Dylan Edwards, speed, full house Newcastle, second game of first grade. How good's that?
Oh, it's incredible. And I spoke with Adam O'Brien. I was there for this game as well, boys. And look, he said, he's just a great natural talent. Good young kid, big future ahead of him if he stays on track. I was actually talking with Joe, and he said, mate, a lot of his attributes on field remind him of Ryan Pappenhausen, and just the way he moves across the ground. And that first try was incredible. Like the way he took on Luai. It wasn't a great attempt by Luai, but he got through, and then the right foot sort of, it was half step, half swerve to get around Dylan Edwards. Just incredible. So he's two first grade games, 2 tries. Could have had 3. He nearly scored a double in Melbourne. So he's a wonderful talent. It's just a shame they couldn't get him any quality ball after that. They just struggled to, and I think sort of Penrith sort of woke up to the fact that they were trying to get him some opportunities. But he is a star of the future.
Just on players laying down that are acting, that are trying to. What do you do with them? What do you do with them? Do you overturn a decision like yesterday? Saturday night in the Eels Roosters game, Kelma Tuolangi went down. Joey Manu made the tackle. Penalty was blown, but when you watch the replay, there was no contact. He took a dive. What do we do? Do we overturn the decision? Do we act after the fact? Do we fine? Do they get fined on a Monday morning if you've milked a penalty and stayed down? What do we do about it?
I don't know if you can fine someone for doing that. It seems a little bit harsh, but I don't mind penalising the player for trying to milk it. So, like, bunker gets involved, right? So, if a player lies down and a bunker deems that like there's actually no contact, but they're holding their head or whatnot, why not give the defensive team a penalty? I don't mind that at all. It's a bit like soccer,
Take
right?
the ball off them.
They had all those diving issues. Yeah,
Simulation.
And they used to they'd give the player that took a dive, they give them a card. Do that. It's not a great look. Jeez, it's a poor look.
It's not a good look. It's not a good look.
Yeah, we play. Our game is so unique to other sports where it's so confrontational and physical, and it's a physical battle, right? And yet we have players laying down. But in the players' defence, it's the way the game has gone. Like it's any slight contact now, like they give penalties. So players are looking for any advantage they can get. So if they feel there's any slight contact, they'll stay down.
I think there's very little instances, though, Cameron, where if the league took action today, it would have universal approval of the fans. There's very few instances, and I reckon if they said today, we're fining Kelma Tuolangi, there would be no dissension from the fans. Now, how often does that happen? Like, we just don't.
No, that's right.
So let's do it. Now, let's take a stance today against him and say, and just say, no, we are fining him, contrary conduct, and every other play you are on notice. It's not what It's not how our game's been played. We've been around since 1908. We don't do this. I know there are instances where you can stay down and the bunker checks it.
Yep.
But if the bunker check it and nothing's happened, you need to know there's consequences against you.
Yeah.
Against you.
Yeah, no, fair point. No, it's a fair point. It's because it's slowly crept its way into our game, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Like you see it more and more often now, like over the last couple of years, where players know that, the bunker do have a quick look if you stay down on the ground. There's been talk about like why not bring in the HIA rule? So if you stay on the ground and
you're off.
Can't rise to your feet, well, you have to leave the field.
On a stretcher.
We saw that on the weekend. we did see that on the weekend with Kyle Flanagan.
Yeah.
Got a whack to the head, stayed down. And not saying that there wasn't head contact. There was.
Yes, there was.
But then the referee said, well, he was ordered off the field. He had to go and get checked.
There we go.
The only change, if Jermaine Hopgood is out, that 18th man, Felice Kafusi, comes into the side.
Yeah, I
and
think
Selwyn
so.
Cobbo. Selwyn Cobbo as well, Cameron. The
Yeah,
male
well,
there.
if Selwyn's out, we spoke to Patton Heels, and they said Selwyn Cobbo is out. So is there
Really?
is there an outside back that you'd think would come in, someone that could play centre, maybe back row?
Wow.
Kurt
Capel.
Capel.
Yeah,
In the mix.
possibly. That's the first I've heard of the Cobbo news.
Well,
is
he
he
finished the
injured?
game.
What's a...
Yeah, well, he must be injured, but he did finish the game, didn't he?
Yeah.
For the Broncos against South. So
Yeah. Well, he has to be
not
because
sure.
he's not going to be dropped, right? Because there was this whole sort of opinion around his selection for game one, right, on the bench, but Billy stuck firm with that and said no. There's a reason why he's on the bench, and subsequently was a great idea to put him on there with Walsh going off with the head knock, and went out and played really well. Like he had a strong game one, so I don't. There's no reason for him not to be there for game two unless he's injured. So, yeah, a little bit of news there.